Welcome back to Time Out with J and G. I am Jay over here. It's G over there.
Yo, what is going on, everyone?
And today we're doing this a little bit differently. We're actually recording this over PS5 Party Chat because this way we thought we can give you kind of an interactive thing to watch instead of just listening to us and looking at a screenshot. So what we did is me and Levi just spent the past hour, legitimately hour, getting this franchise set up. Okay, okay, it's been hell. You can ask Leo about that. My PS5 is running horribly. I control all 32 NFL teams, all 32 of them, and we went through, we made trades that everybody has the pick they had in real life, and we're going to do an interactive draft. Now, I'm hoping Madden lets us do this and lets me pick the players. We're going to draft the player, we're going to talk about them, give them our grades. That's what we're doing. We're grading kind of like what we think about the picks. I know Levi has some comps, some comparisons he's got from CBS. We're going to talk about that. And yeah, anything you want to talk about before we get started, Levi?
I mean, not really. I'm excited to get right into this.
Yeah, I'm just pray it works. You ready?
I am ready.
All right, and we're gonna start. And I guess, okay, pause draft. I can pause the draft. Thank God. Now, pick number one. We know who this is. This is Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Give me your reaction, your grade, Caleb Williams.
Great. I'm gonna give it an A. This is kind of already planned. You know, everyone expected it to happen. Um, it's an A. I mean, he's a good prospect. He's a good player. Um, they do have the comparison of Patrick Mahomes. I don't know 100% about that. If that's his ceiling, that's the highest, then I can agree with it. But if it's just saying, that's his like comp, I'm okay with it too. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think I'm able to switch characters this way. This is
Oh,
new.
please,
We're
that
trying
would
this.
be beautiful.
I think we're trying this a new way. Oh
Oh,
yes.
let's
Okay. Okay. We
go.
figured out a good way to switch between users. Sorry, a little bit of a test run here. We're doing it the first time, so bear with us here. Okay, but yeah. Caleb Williams, first overall. We knew this has been happening for, like I said, a year. Like this is what's been happening. There's been a lot of stupid pre-draft stuff that's come out, like people attacking his character, and it's like when the only thing you have to attack a quarterback about is like them painting their nails and stuff. Then what are we talking about? You know what I mean?
We're
They're
not
not
talking
really
about football at that point.
yeah, we're not really criticizing his football game. They're criticizing like him crying after a game or him painting his nails. I just I don't care if he paints his nails. I legitimately do not care if he paints his nails. It does not bother me at all. As long as he's a good quarterback, I think that's all Chicago cares about. You said you gave it an A. I gave it an A, A plus, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Yep.
it's the slam dunk. It's the Victor Wembanyama of the NFL draft. You know what I mean? It's like you knew this is supposed to be the generational quarterback. Yeah, it's easy. Um,
100%. What's your take on CBS? The pro comparison is CBS.
okay,
It's all
yeah.
CBS Sports. The pro comparison is Patrick Mahomes. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that's an absolute ceiling for sure. I think it's tough. They're both guys that extend plays with their legs, and they can make them flashy throws, them big time throws, and like from that standpoint, I can get it. I can see what they're saying there. It just seems like the Patrick Mahomes comparison is always going to be kind of a lofty comparison.
Yeah.
Um, so like for play style wise of like being able to extend plays, move outside the pocket when plays break down, be able to make big plays, I can get that. All right, is that all for Caleb Williams?
That's all for Mr. First overall.
Then second overall is the quarterback out of LSU, Jaden Daniels. If I can, there we go. Jaden Daniels went second overall. Give me your grade. Give me just talk about it a little bit.
I give it an A. I mean, Washington has been gearing up this offseason. They brought in a new head coach in Dan Quinn. I believe they revamped their offense and defense for the most part. They brought in Austin Eckler and they brought in a bunch of other pieces. And at number two, they got a dynamic quarterback that can throw the ball and can make play with his legs. Now, the only thing that I'm scared about for Jane Daniels is at LSU, he had a tendency to take the unnecessary hit, right?
And he's a pretty thin frame too. He's not a very big guy.
Yes. So them unnecessary hits, they could be more prominent in the pros
Yeah.
because the guys are bigger, stronger, faster, on and on and on. That's my only concern. He's got to learn to slide. and he's got
Yeah,
to
I
start
mean,
doing it more often.
I think we talked about it when we did our mock draft. Like, I think Jaden Daniels is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, boom or bust prospect in this draft class. Like, Jaden McDaniels can be a ceiling of a. I don't want to call it like prime Russell Wilson. Sounds like I'm being disrespectful, but I'm not. I think prime Russell Wilson was a really, really good quarterback. A guy that like
Yeah,
is you could win Super Bowls with him. I don't know if that means it's gonna happen in Washington by any means, but it's like I think Jay McDaniels has the upside of a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I mean, he's able to move around inside outside the pocket. His accuracy can be a little bit all over the place, and kind of like you said, he takes a lot of hits. And Washington has a history of quarterbacks that take hits, and it's been awful for their careers. And I don't want to put that on him at all, but it's kind of scary how that's kind of some, you know what I mean, between Baylor with RG3 and then here LSU Jaden Daniels. A little worried that something's going to be similar there, but I'm not hoping that on any means. I don't know. Like I said, I think Jaden Daniels is the boom or bust product of this draft class. He's going to be your Zach Wilson, or he's going to be your, I don't know, who's a guy. I would say, I mean, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I know. Yeah. I think this is either your Josh Allen or your Zach Wilson pick.
okay, I got you. So the comparison, right? The pro comp is Tyrod Taylor. I
I
the play style you can make an argument for, but I don't think his ceiling is going to be Tyrod Taylor.
No, you don't take a guy like Tyrod Taylor second overall, and
No.
I legitimately think that all it is the play style. I don't think it has anything to do with his ceiling. Yeah, and that's stupid because they gave Caleb Williams Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
So where do you see? So obviously they're talking about ceilings. Then you know what I mean?
I don't know because it could change for each prospect. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
guess.
I'm presuming play style, but then again, does Caleb Williams play like Patrick Mahomes?
I think similarly. Yes, not as good, but yes, similar play styles. Yes.
Then I'm gonna assume that Tyrod that it's play style. All these are pretty much gonna be like kind of like play style esque
Yeah.
type grades and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I gave it I give it a B just because it's like a B plus for me because like if you get that Josh Allen type of like jump where it's like maybe his first year or two is like and then like jumps into an MVP consideration player, not saying what I mean, but like that kind of jump,
Yeah.
it could be an A plus. But if you also have that worry that it could just not be much, which you have with all these guys. But I feel like I said with Jaden Daniels, kind of a guy that's all over the place. So I'm gonna give it a B plus.
I'm gonna give it a B plus A minus. I like the pick it too, especially where Washington is.
Okay, so that moves to number 3, which is quarterback Drake May going to the New England Patriots. Give me your draft grade. Give me how you feel.
I'm giving it about a B plus.
Okay.
I'm the reason it's not an A is because of the fact that they just went on from Mac Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was more or less a prototypical pocket passer. And now you're going on to Drake May, who you could consider more of a pocket passer than scrambler.
Right.
They're going on to like the same pocket passer type esque, but then again they went from Brady to Mac Jones.
Yeah,
For
they
the
had
most
like
part.
Brissett. They had that 1 year Cam Newton.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the only thing that scares me is they're staying with that pocket passer,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not trying to do something else. Grant, and they did bring in a new regime basically.
Yeah. I mean, they know it
So
works for him.
yeah, it works, but I'm just scared that it's gonna end up being the same thing. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
there's a chance he comes out and has a good first year, or basically a similar thing of Mac Jones. But I also feel like he could be an all pro at his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
do.
just
Oh, good.
it's just I don't I like the pick. I do think that Drake May is going to end up being the best prospect out of this. It's just to New England. New England is not the best scenario for a
Yeah.
young quarterback right now.
Yeah. No, that's kind of like I think Drake May is the second best quarterback in this draft class. I think he's ahead of Daniels and just right behind right behind Caleb Williams. Like I said, I like his. He's a guy he's a floor raiser. Right away, he's going to come back. He's going to get into the Patriots and just make them better. The problem is, like you said, the Patriots don't really have a supporting cast for a young quarterback to develop. Like, he's not really throwing the ball to much of anybody. And that's where I kind of worry about his ceiling, is that, like, sometimes as a quarterback, you're only as good as the pieces around you. You know what I mean? And I worry if New England fails to put weapons around him, we're just not really going to see the potential of Drake May. But like I said, I think he's a legitimate floor raiser. I think right away he's going to come in and you're going to tell a noticeable, like, he's going to be much better than Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi right away. Like, I think you're going to get I think right away, at the worst, you're going to get a solid, steady quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, like you were saying about the weapons that he has at disposal, you have Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk.
I mean, Juju, depending on what's going on with him.
Yeah, he's questionable right now, and they did bring in KJ Osborne. And obviously they do have Hunter Henry, but it's just, is there enough pieces there to get something going, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with them. I worry about, and they have time. He's a young guy. They have time to build around him, but you know,
100%.
Yeah. So next, the Arizona Cardinals take the first non-quarterback of the draft, and they go receiver from Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. Go ahead.
I gotta give this an A+. I absolutely love this pick. Yeah, I love this pick. It shows that the Cardinals are committed to Kyler Murray. You're bringing in a 6'4" wide receiver when the average corner is about 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot.
Yep.
He's an incredible 50-50 ball. 6'4", he can jump up and he has great hands.
Mm-hmm.
He can create separation in his routes. There's not a lot of weaknesses that I can really say about Marvin Harrison Jr. If anything, if it wasn't for the need at quarterback, I think he should have possibly went 2 or maybe even 1.
Are we seeing them just draft another more athletic version of Larry Fitzgerald?
They might.
I mean, I have it at A+ too. He's the best non-quarterback in the draft, but like I think quite a bit of a margin. And yeah, this means they're committed to Kyler Murray. You know what? Kyler Murray's not a bad quarterback, and you can get him legitimate receivers. You might be able to. You still have time to build with Kyler Murray.
And the thing is, Kyler Murray's not that old.
No, he's what, mid to maybe late, like 25 to 27 range.
I think he's like 26.
Yeah, so it's like
have theoretically possibly another 10 years of Kyler Murray, depending on what goes on.
Yeah, like you have a couple years to build up this roster, and getting a guy that can be like your surefire number one receiver is nuts. They have Trey McBride, who's like a decent young tight end. James Conner, James Conner's a decent starting running back. You know what I mean? He's not going to blow you away, but he's going to, he's a decent sized guy. And like you said, yeah, he's fast, he's tall, he's strong. He can go up and high point the football. He can break away on routes. It's like, it's just, he's going to be perfect for this offense where it's like, no matter where they line him up, he's going to be great. And A+ pick for me.
And I mean, talk about career accomplishments. He's the first player in Big Ten history with 14 plus receiving touchdowns in multiple seasons.
That's what's his CBS comp?
Randy Moss.
That's okay. That's a lofty. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, his pro comp is Randy Moss.
Next we will move to the number 5 pick. The Los Angeles Chargers take the tackle out of Notre Dame, Joe Alt. What are you thinking here?
I love this pick.
Mm-hmm.
I know I said it for the last couple, but the Chargers are now committed to Justin Herbert. And what I mean by that is they're committed to him because they're building up this O-line, especially at the tackles.
Yeah.
You have Rashawn Slater, and now you bring in Joe Alt, who's going to play the opposite tackle. I presume right tackle.
I think he has the ability to play both. Yeah.
He's going to be able to play both, but I think they trust Rashawn Slater at left tackle.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's the better right now in an NFL situation. I feel like Slater is the better pass blocker and you're gonna rely more on him than throwing in a rookie. You know what I mean? I just love the fact that they're building up this O line
Hmm.
to keep
Yeah,
Herbert off of his back.
yeah. I gave it an A minus because I think it's a great pick. I legitimately think it's a great pick, and I think, like I said, you're hoping to shore up both your tackle positions for the next however long for Herbert's career. Keep him off his butt, let him find his receivers. That just leads me to my only reason it's not like an A plus is like I'm worried they really don't have much weapons at the receivers position. Like they could have got a Rome Dunze, Malik Neighbors, but again, like I feel like you have a young guy, Quentin Johnson, who again didn't have a great rookie year, but is a guy who's going into a second year. You hope can make a jump. Josh Palmer, like I think they have decent enough receivers that Justin Herbert can make them better with a good offensive line. And yeah, dude, he's a massive dude. I don't know if you saw when he got drafted, like he's in a cabin, just like fucking big dude, the big family in a cabin. It's like, oh yeah, that's those are the offensive linemen you're looking for. Them dudes just
Oh
out
yeah,
there, they're playing because they love football.
100%. And I know this is a later pick down on, but the Chargers did take Ladd McConkey. Con, yeah.
What? Well,
The
let's
wide
not
receiver
we'll
from
get there. We'll get there later. We'll get there. Let's not jump too far ahead here.
he wasn't in the first round.
I know, but I'm just saying, let's not jump down here. Let's let's keep going here. So that's five. Anything else? What was the Joe Alt's comparison?
Uh, Taylor Decker.
Ooh, okay, that's a bit. Okay, it's decent. I guess. Okay. They're really all over the place with these projections.
Yeah, these comps are very, very interesting.
Next, the New York Football Giants take LSU receiver Malik Neighbors with the sixth overall pick. What do you have?
I like this pick. The Giants needed a wide receiver.
Hmm.
They really did. I just like the pick. It fits from Neighbors to come in and fight for that wide receiver one position.
Yeah,
And it gives the Giants a possibly wide receiver one when they've been lacking at wide receiver for the past couple of years for the most
yeah,
part.
they have.
I give this an A.
Yeah,
A minus A minus.
I give it an A as well. I think, obviously the questions are there with Daniel Jones and like what your ceiling is with him, and kind of along the same. I don't have. I think Kyler Murray's a better quarterback, obviously, but I think you're kind of along the same situation of like, you know what? Let's give him a explosive receiver high in the draft and see what he can do. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not going to work, and that's okay. Malik Neighbors is like what 21, 2021.
Yeah,
Malik
he's
Neighbors
young.
isn't only here for one season. If he gets into his rookie year and struggles because of Daniel Jones, that's not the end of his career. You know what I mean? He's there for at least
100%.
4 years, five with the option, and then you have time to find him a quarterback. I know some Giants fans are upset that Michael Penix, Bo Nix, like not maybe at this pick, but like a quarterback wasn't taken, or like you know what I mean? Because I know some people were talking about Penix or JJ McCarthy going to the Giants here, and it's like I just you don't need that yet. Give them some weapons. It's kind of the same thing we talk about the Patriots. The Patriots lack a lot of weapons for your quarterback, but Drake May was such a good quarterback prospect you couldn't pass on it. Now we're down here at the Giants. You're not looking at JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr. as these can't miss quarterbacks. So okay, let's take the second best receiver in the draft class.
100%. The only thing that you could maybe argue about Neighbors is he's not that big of a receiver,
Mm-hmm.
and he does get when the cornerbacks get physical with him, sometimes he does get beat at the line, and he can't get off.
Yeah, and like I
He
said,
can't get off onto his route.
he's a young guy. He's going to be a rookie receiver. It might take him 3 years to kind of fully develop, 3 to 4 seasons for him to fully develop himself, and even then, he might not be fully developed. And now you bring in a quarterback that has a year three Malik Neighbors that's just a much better player than a rookie Malik Neighbors. You know what I mean? Like now you're setting up your quarterback in a couple years to come into a team with offensive weapons.
And his pro comparison is Brandon Ayuk.
That's a damn good comparison, I think.
It
Brandon
is.
Ayuk's a receiver 1 on the 49ers team, so I think that's a pretty damn good comparison. So I give it an A. Is that what you did too?
Yeah, A minus A.
Okay. Let's see here. What do they have? Next is the Tennessee Titans, and I'm going to see which way they have him listed in Madden here. Yep, they have him at right tackle here in Madden. They took tackle J.C. Latham from Alabama.
I like this pick. I do. I know there were some people out there in the Tennessee fans that
Hmm.
wanted, like Rome Odunze, get a wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I like the tackle here because it builds up this Titans O line that is not very good.
Hmm.
And it gives them a good tackle for the next, he could play 20 years, like 15
Well,
to 20 years for the Titans. And it gives you that tackle that can be your reliable left tackle and can shield Will Levis
yeah. I mean,
from the
plus
blind side.
even in free agency, they brought in Calvin Ridley. You know what I mean? It's like obviously
Yeah.
you would like more weapons for sure, no doubt about it. But it's like you at least brought in a receiver. Let's help out this offensive line. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it needs help badly. Um, he's, I think he's a better run defender, but he's also not a bad pat. Like, I think you can do both. And with Will Levis, yeah, it's kind of the same thing we talk about with Herbert. You want to keep him off his butt. So getting a great tackle is you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't think he's as good of a tackle as Fashanu was. Like I think he went. I think it's a good pick, but I think he went a little bit earlier than a lot of people expected. Because like again, I think there was better tackles on the board. But if for any reason the Titans like J.C. Latham over Fashanu or anybody else, you know what I mean? Like they know things we don't know.
Well, the one thing that is a strength for J.C. Latham is he's had a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but he's had a good amount of experience playing different offensive line positions at an
Yeah,
SEC level.
can he play a little bit guard too?
Yeah, I think he's played left tackle, right tackle, and guard.
Hmm.
So he's been moved around with injuries and he has experience.
Yeah,
And
and I
he's
mean
only allowed
if the Titans want to keep them because they signed Tony Pollard too, so if the Titans want to keep themselves as a run first team, I think he's the better. I think he's a better run tackle than a Fashanu was. So, like I said, maybe it just fits their team better.
and what's crazy to think is he had 970 career pass blocking snaps.
Hmm.
He only let 3 sacks.
That's crazy. What was your grade on it?
I give this like a B plus, an A.
I give it a
I give
flat
I
B.
give
Like I said,
I
I
give it a
think
B
there was.
plus.
I think I give it a B because I think there was better tackles on the board, but I think maybe they was just a tackle they wanted for their scheme.
Yeah.
So next, we have the pick everybody's been talking about for a while now. The Atlanta Falcons take quarterback from Washington, Michael Penix Jr., eighth overall. Go ahead.
I
I'll let you start.
If they're planning for life after Cousins, even though you just signed him to a monster deal, this is basically saying that you want Penix to like learn from him for like the first 2 years, and then you're shipping out Cousins. Or Cousins is playing all 4 years. You pick up Penix's 5th year option, and then that's kind of like if you do good, we'll give you, we'll extend you. If you don't, you're in free agency. But I don't like the plan of that because now you're banking on Penix's 5th year, and I don't like a quarterback sitting for that long.
Right now, yeah, no, I still don't love the pick. We were stunned by we were watching the draft together in a party, and we were both just completely shocked. Like it, just like the rest. I think the rest of the world was like just like what the hell just happened. Now, after about a week has passed by, I still don't love the pick. I still give it a D. It's my grade's still a D on it, but it would have been an F draft night. And the reason I moved up to a D was because I remembered the Falcons can get out of Kirk Cousins' contract after 2 years, and they don't have to pay him the rest of the contract.
Really?
Yes, there's an out after 2 seasons. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to sit behind Kirk Cousins for 2 years. And Kirk Cousins was just injured last season. So Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a guy that can maybe step in right away if Kirk Cousins gets injured.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, he'll be 26. I understand that. Like it's like that's older for a quarterback to get his really get his feet in the door. But he's still then 26. You still have realistically 6 to 8 years of him like being a good quarterback if that's what he progresses into. And like I said, I still don't love it. But if their plan is, and it seems like contractually wise, they can get out of the Kirk Cousins contract in 2 years, I think it's a little bit better. It makes a little bit more sense for me.
Yeah, that's the only reason I could see this is that they're
Mhm.
planning for it, and they don't want to end up getting caught with their head between their legs in 2 seasons when, whatever happens, and they're trying to draft a quarterback. They're trying to get someone in to learn the offense, get his feet in the door, like you said,
Yeah.
and just be ready for when that does happen.
And like I said, I know Michael Penix Jr. has had his fair share of injuries throughout his entire college career, but Kirk Cousins missed a good chunk of last season. So if Kirk Cousins gets banged, Kirk Cousins is like what 34, 35 years old now.
Something like that.
If Kirk gets hurt, maybe Michael Penix Jr. could start 7, 8 games this season. You know what I mean? And it's like it doesn't look as crazy now because you got a starting quarterback for the season.
Yeah, I give it a C overall.
Mm-hmm.
It still stuns me, and I'm not really that a fan of the pick. But they're trying to win now and playing for the future, which I can respect. The comparison is Tua.
Oh, that's not bad. It's lazy because they're both left-handed quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's pretty lazy. I'm not gonna lie there, because I'm almost 100% certain that's the only reason they gave him that comparison. I'm just being dead ass with you.
Yeah, it's CBS,
Whoa. Next, number 9. The Bears are back on the clock, and they take receiver from Washington, Rome Odunze.
I personally, I'm a fan of this pick.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm a fan of this pick is because you're slotting him in to be your wide receiver 3. Let's be honest here. But now he's behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. DJ Moore, really good wide receiver. Keenan Allen has been very good for the past I don't know how many years. And I think he just came off of his best yards season of his career.
Yeah.
I believe. You can check me if I'm wrong on that, but I love this, especially learning from someone like Keenan Allen, who isn't the fastest, but he's a great route technician. Is going to help Rome Odunze a lot.
And that's awesome too, because Odunze is a really good route runner. So working with one of the best in the league is gonna, yeah, I like it.
And I mean, the Bears brought in DeAndre Swift. They have Cole Kmet. They got Gerald Everett.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this offense is looking to run.
Mm-hmm.
And Rome Odunze might come out of nowhere as that wide receiver 3.
I think that's where I was gonna say. I think he's gonna slot in as a receiver 3 right away.
What I mean is just like with the weapons that are there, if they run consistently 3 wide receivers on the field, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Rome Odunze could be one of the best wide receiver 3s in the league this year coming up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think because how long is Keenan Allen's contract for? Let me double check here. Keenan Allen contract. He's got that was a 4-year deal he signed with the Chargers. How much has he got left? Just this year. He's just this year left with the Bears. I think it's a 1-year rental unless they can get him for cheaper down the line. I think they're going to have Odunze sit behind DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, learn behind especially Keenan Allen, and then next year Odunze is going to take over the number 2 spot. And now you have 2 super young good receivers.
Yeah, I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I give it an A+. I think this was like, I understand you might want to like think about offensive line. I get that, but you're giving Caleb Williams an insane offensive arsenal to walk into.
100%, and I mean, especially for Caleb Williams, having Keenan Allen as a receiver
Hmm.
is going to help you out because Keenan Allen has, I think, he's been through like 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the
Yeah, I mean,
Chargers.
Tyrod, Herbert, Philip Rivers. I'm sure there's been a couple people. I mean, there's been some injuries and people have stuck in and out too.
Yeah. So I mean, like Keenan Allen has been there for a while. He knows. I shouldn't say he knows, but he has a good idea of how to elevate his quarterback and give the quarterback tips. Hey, look at the DB if he does this, do this, or trying to look him off this way, or
Yeah.
just giving him tips to help him out. Which I'm saying this Bears team is looking a little spicy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the Bears. I don't know if I'm going to project them to be a playoff team right away just because of rookie quarterback. Um, but I think we're gonna see a resurgence of this Bears franchise.
I agree. And the comp is Musin Muhammad.
Oh, that's a decent. Okay. Okay. So I guess that leads us to number 10, which has the Minnesota Vikings taking J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. What do you got?
I don't relatively. I like JJ as a quarterback. I just don't think he was top 10 worthy. Granted, teams get desperate for a quarterback. Or I shouldn't say desperate, but they start grabbing for a quarterback, right? I don't know if I like it at 10, but I like JJ as a player. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
overall, his game, I like it, but I just don't think it was top 10 worthy.
See, for my thing with that is like he, if you like him as a quarterback, just you might as well go and take him before somebody else gets him. You know what I mean? He might not be a top 10 player in this draft, but positional value at quarterback, like you said, he's going to go higher than he did. He went before players that are better than him, but because of his positional value, and a team like the Vikings that need a quarterback, he was always going to go earlier.
100%.
It's just how the draft works
100%.
with like a lot of things.
And I think it also kind of scared the Vikings when the Falcons took Penix.
Yeah, yeah. Not
100%
that they
because it's like,
wanted Penix, but yeah, that just like
yeah, just the possibility that, okay, we had, possibly 3 quarterbacks on our radar. Now we're down to 2. And it's JJ or Bo Nix.
and
And obviously,
there's a clear better quarterback there.
yeah, and they went JJ. And I mean, like, getting them a quarterback is going to be great. I
Mm-hmm.
know we talked about it earlier that I think the projection for his yards in his rookie season was like 3,070.
Nuts.
I think he's gonna crush that as long pending injuries, obviously. But I think he's gonna crush that because you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison,
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see why he doesn't crush that unless obviously injuries or he just comes out and just craps the bed.
Yeah, I mean he's got one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league. He's got a young superstar receiver, and a veteran good tight end, and a veteran good running back. Like you know what I mean? He's another guy. Maybe not as. I think he comes into a similar situation that Caleb Williams does on the Bears. I think the Bears are a little bit deeper on offense, but Justin Jefferson's a better receiver than anybody the Bears have. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
I think they're in a pretty comparable situation, and I think I don't know if JJ McCarthy's ever going to be a MVP quarterback or anything like that. He probably never lead the league in passing yards, but I legitimately think you're going to get a borderline top 10 quarterback, and he's a game manager. And I mean, no slight by that at all. We had this conversation about like Brock Purdy back in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to go out there and he's not going to lose you the game.
yeah.
You know, he might not make the flashy plays to win you the game, but that's why he has Justin Jefferson. That's why he has Aaron Jones. That's why he has TJ Hawkinson. They're the star players. He's just going to get them the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, his player comparison is Joe Burrow.
Okay. 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 He has a bigger arm than people give him credit for because they didn't throw a lot at Michigan.
Yeah, they relied a lot on Blake
Mm-hmm.
Corum.
Yeah,
And obviously so.
I think we're gonna get. Yeah, you're gonna see a different version of McCarthy, but I do think he's gonna stay in a game manager role. I just think you're gonna see more explosive plays out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I give it like a B,
I have it a B plus.
C
Yeah.
plus. I have it around a B minus. Um, yeah.
Next, we have, let's see if I can find them, New York Jets. And they take Penn State, woo, woo, shut up, Penn State. Um, they take tackle, I never have been able to pronounce his first name, Fashanu, the tackle from Penn State University. What do you got there?
I mean, I love it. I really do. I know I've said this a couple times now, but
A lot of
you
teams
bring
had a
in.
good drafts.
They did. They did. They brought in Tyron Smith, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah. They brought in Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith didn't play a whole season last year, I don't believe.
Tyron Smith hasn't played a whole season in a long, long time.
Yeah, so now you're bringing in a guy that can learn from him, but
Mm-hmm.
also I'm projecting going to have to step up and start taking meaningful snaps
I
early
think
in the
he's gonna.
season, possibly.
Yeah, I think he's gonna start right away.
Like I love this pick, especially because the O line last year is one of the reasons why Rodgers did get hurt.
Yeah.
I shouldn't blame it all on the O line. I'm not going to, but one of the big reasons was for that O line.
Mm-hmm.
I really love this pick, especially with how the Jets are moving forward, and they're trying to make sure that Rodgers stays off his back. I mean, obviously so, because Rodgers is like 40 years old at this point. He's like what, 37, 38,
Yeah.
and you don't want your old quarterback getting hit a lot. And
Yeah.
interesting fact, he had 697 career pass blocking snaps,
Mm-hmm.
0 career sacks allowed.
Yeah, man, that's tough when you have you're blocking for Drew Aller and what was his name? The guy before him. He's on the Packers now. I forgot his name.
Sean
He was there
Clifford.
for like, huh? Sean
Sean
Clifford. Yeah,
Clifford.
he was there for like 20 years. Um,
Yeah, long time.
and if you're not letting those guys get sacked, because we all know those guys weren't great quarterbacks, haven't been great quarterbacks, then you know what? You're doing a damn good job. Um, yeah, no, I think he's going to start at right tackle for maybe just a year until Tyron Smith. I don't know how long Tyron Smith's going to be there for. You know what I mean? So he's probably going to start a year or two at right tackle then. I think he's naturally going to move back over to left tackle and be their quarterback of the future's blindside protector as long as they get a right-handed quarterback. And I think he'll excel in that role. I really, really do. He's a good run blocker. He's a good pass blocker. I know sometimes on the passing scheme, there was a couple times if he goes against somebody really, really fast, sometimes he can't quite get back fast enough. But that comes with playing. He's like 21 here. Yeah, no, I think it's a great pick, and you're hoping to protect Aaron Rodgers as he's getting older, and then the quarterback of the future for a good part of his career. I have it
And
as
I mean,
A plus.
yeah, I have it as an A. The
Mm,
pro comp is Trent Williams.
That's a great that's a great comp.
It is very much so.
That's a damn Hall of
Very
Fame
much so.
tackle right there.
It is.
Next, at 12, the Denver Broncos get quarterback from Oregon, Auburn. He's been a couple places. Bo Nix.
This is
Give me
this
yours. Yeah.
is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We did know that Denver needed a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, at this point, I kind of think they had to take him because there were a couple of teams coming up that could have used a quarterback.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like we could trade back and get him later, but there's always that chance someone takes him. For that, I can't write him off too bad because kind of like we need to take him. It's kind of like the McCarthy, not
Yeah.
yeah McCarthy thing, to where it's like we got to take him now or we might not get him. And then once you get past Bo Nix, the next quarterback is I don't know. I
What,
can't say
Spencer
his
Spencer Rattler?
Spencer Rattler. Spencer
Yeah.
Rattler, and he went in like the 5th round.
Yeah,
I mean, the the pick isn't bad, but it's not good considering the other players that are better than him. But like you said earlier with McCarthy, it's the positional value is so demanding that they were gonna take him high.
yeah, the one thing I worry is that Oregon's offense was a lot of screens. And that's like he threw a lot of passes near the line of scrimmage. And I just I don't think he's your franchise quarterback. I think he can be a I don't know, man. I don't know where I put him. I don't think he's your franchise quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. I don't think that's what he is. I don't. I think he could be a solid quarterback for a little bit. Think of like Marcus Mariota, who for a couple years in Tennessee was like okay, but was never, you know what I mean, was never what they expected out of the second overall pick. And I know
Now,
between 2 and 12 is a bit of a drop, but kind of the same principle. You know what I mean? You're taking a guy top 15, a quarterback top 15. You're going to want him to be your franchise quarterback, and I don't, I don't, I don't see it.
you wanna know whose pro comp is? Joshua
Mm,
Dobbs.
whoa.
Yeah,
I know we both like Josh Dobbs. He's a good guy and all that kind of stuff, but that's a rough comp.
it is. It is.
That is, wow.
Yeah.
Um, what do you what'd you give this grade?
I give it like a C.
I'm giving it a D. I don't. I think they reached badly. I can make sense of the McCarthy. I can Penix and him are kind of on the same level, but even then, I kind of like Penix more. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm giving it like a D.
The only reason I give it a C is because you either get Bo Nix now, or you're taking Spencer Rattler
Yeah,
earlier than he actually went. I think he went late in the 5th round.
yeah, he went
So
pretty
you
late.
probably taken him at like the third round, maybe 4th round, something like that, because you need to get a quarterback.
Yeah. So next, the Las Vegas Raiders take tight end Brock Bowers from Georgia.
Very, very interesting
Mm-hmm.
for the whole reason because they had Michael Mayer they drafted last year.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that fact, I'd give this pick an A. But they have Michael Mayer, unless they're gonna convert Bowers into more of a slot receiver and run him more in the slot. But then at that point, take a wide receiver.
I think he's gonna have a Kyle Pitts role, where he's gonna be a tight end hybrid. I think him and Mayer can be on the field at the same time, and you just run two tight end sets, which is I don't think is a problem. Or like I said, there's gonna be places he's gonna play in the slot, and there's gonna be times he can play inline tight end. I think, yeah, maybe a receiver makes more sense here. I was actually hoping they would go cornerback or offensive lineman in this pick, but
Yeah.
I think they fell to best player available, and
Yeah,
you're
I
just
can't
you're
blame them
given
for that.
you're given it like you have Devontae Adams, you know what I mean. So you have a receiver there. Jacoby Myers is like he's an okay receiver, he's fine, and
Michael
you got to
Gallup.
figure out what you're doing with quarterback, huh?
They signed Michael Gallup.
Oh, that's right. They also signed Malcolm Gallup, and then you got to figure out between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell as who's going to be your quarterback. Let them go out there with a bunch of weapons on offense and just see what they can do.
Yeah, I can see it. I can understand the pick, best player available, but
Mm-hmm.
I just I think they should have went like O line
Yeah, no,
or somewhere on the defense.
player wise, a pick. Player wise, a pick.
Yes.
Fit wise on the team is more like a B to C because I think he's better than Mayer by all means. But yeah, it's like it was. I don't think it was a big enough of a need for them to do that.
Granted, it could also be just the fact that they didn't expect him to be here at 13.
That's also, yeah, like I said, best player available. He fell to us. We're not going to let him fall past. He's too good of a player.
Yeah, his pro comparison is George Kittle.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Brock Bowers, the only two-time John Mackey winner.
Oh, shout out to him. I
Shout
picked the
out.
wrong team here. We're going to go to the Saints, actually, not the Colts. I looked the pick ahead. Okay. The Saints take Oregon State tackle Fuaga. I'm pretty sure it's Fuaga.
Yep.
Um, yeah, give me that.
The Saints have needed O-line help for a little bit now. I don't hate the pick. I give it like a B plus.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know for how long that the Saints have needed some type of O-line help.
Yeah, for a while.
And given the fact that I believe their starting quarterback next year is probably going to be Jameson Winston, if I'm correct on that.
Where's Derek Carr even at these days?
I don't know where he is, but I know he's suspended for the first 4 games.
Oh, he's still on the Saints. So I mean, I think he's going to be your starting quarterback for the season.
Well, after the first 4 games.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, you got to give someone to keep him off the ground. And I mean, this is a big play. The only thing is that I think he does move to guard
Okay.
because of Ryan Ramsky and Trevor Penning being your tackles. I think he slides into the left guard spot,
Okay.
or they slide Penning down into the guard spot. One of the two.
He's just a good, solid offensive lineman. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, I don't think he stands out really anywhere, but he's gonna just be good. And I think that's like at the offensive line, that's kind of what you need. You know what I mean? Like, he's just gonna step in and he's just gonna be a good player. And I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, at 6'6", 334, you can pretty much play guard or tackle. For the
Yeah.
most part. I mean,
Yeah.
BB plus.
I do. Yeah, I do agree. I do think he's gonna play guard. I know sometimes a little bit last season. I didn't watch a lot of Oregon State, but some tape I saw, he kind of a similar thing to Shanu, just a little bit more often, is just getting beat by guys that are a little bit quicker off the edge. And if you have Penny and Ryan, all them, so it's like maybe I think he might profile a little bit better as a guard. Yeah,
His pro comp is Jedrick
Jedrick Wills.
Yep,
Jedrick Wills. Okay. I
not
okay.
terrible.
Okay, so next we'll go to the Colts. This is just the way we have to do it, guys. I don't know. This game is stupid. I figured controlling everybody, I'd just be able to go boom, 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 but I got to switch between them. It is what it is. Next, we have the Colts, who took Latu, the edge rusher from UCLA.
I like the pick because the Colts have needed edge rushing help. I don't know. It's just a nice pick. I'd rather of them went Dallas Turner
Yes.
or Jared Verse.
Mm-hmm.
More so Dallas Turner. But I mean, they needed edge rushing help, and if they think that he's the best edge rusher in the class, then take him. I mean, I was kind of surprised Latu. I was surprised Latu and Dallas Turner. More so Dallas Turner fell. But I mean, this is a good pick for the Colts. You get a nice edge rusher. The only concern is that he did, I think, have to medically retire for 2 years, and then he came back. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he had almost 24 sacks in his past 2 seasons that he played.
Yeah, I struggle. The thing about him is I worry about his run defense because he's not exactly a big guy coming off the edge. Not he's not like a undersized person, but like he's got pushed off the line a lot, and like especially now against NFL linemen, I wonder how. I worry that he's going to be relegated to more of a pass rush only role. And
I can see that.
I think you worry about that because, again, when you're taking players in this first round, you're not looking for specialists. You know what I mean? And I worry if he gets relegated to, he might be a great edge rusher. You know what I mean? We saw that with Dallas and Micah Parsons. They thought he was going to be more of a hybrid player, and he ended up being one of the best edge rushers in the NFL now. So it's like, by all means, Latu could make a similar jump to where, you know what I mean, going into the NFL, but it's like, I've seen him get pushed around by offensive linemen quite a bit. And he's got really good speed. So I know there was times he also got pushed in against some guards and was able to just get past them because he's quicker than them. But that stuff doesn't always fly in the NFL that it does in college.
Yeah, and I mean, his pro comp is Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips.
Yep. Not a bad comp. I don't think.
No, I agree. I think they are very, very similar roles. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot. Jalen Phillips. I don't even know if Jalen Phillips is going to play this year because I think it was at Achilles or ACL, like towards the end of the season for the Dolphins. So I don't even know if we're going to get to see him play much at all this year. But I give it a B. I give it a B. I think he's a good player. I just worry about his ability to be on the field all the time for them, even especially with the medically retiring thing. That could
I,
be
I
a persisting problem.
I give it a B minus C plus just because of the injury, and I also think Dallas Turner is a
Mhm.
better player. Just you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's about the only reason I give it like a B minus C plus.
All right. Next at 16, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking interior defensive lineman, defensive tackle Byron Murphy.
Seattle has needed D line help.
Hmm.
They have. I like this pick at 16 for the Seahawks because I believe shouldn't really worry about quarterback, but their quarterback's good. Their running back's phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
Their O line isn't that bad, and I feel like their defense is the thing they needed the most. And getting someone that can stuff the middle is very very good.
Yeah, he's a little bit undersized for a defensive tackle, but he's a good pass rusher at the defensive tackle spot. And he's for his size, maybe like lack of size, he's pretty decent against the run too. And
Yeah,
I think some of his problems he had in college was like he got too high too quickly because he relies more on speed. So maybe the offensive line were able to get up underneath of him as he was like trying to explode out of the stance. Um, and like if he gets double teamed in a run game, I don't know if he has the size to get through a double team.
yeah, that's understandable.
But
Because
I think
it's
yeah,
always hard to add size, kind of
yeah,
height wise more than
yeah.
impossible
You
to add
can't. Yeah,
height for the
yeah. I was gonna
most part.
say
Yeah,
yeah,
he can bulk up a little bit and he can get more. He can bulk up and get more run stopping ability, which I think I would rather draft interior defensive lineman that I could teach to be better against the run than try and
hmm
teach him to be more of a rusher. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I think you're getting guy like I said he's still good against the run for his lack of size.
Oh
I
yeah,
think you're just
yeah.
getting an all around really good defensive tackle. You just got to worry that a team like the Ravens could run right up the middle and you put the guard and center on them, and then Derrick Henry's running the ball. I would worry about. And then again, not a lot of defensive tackles are going to be able to stop that. So I don't want to make that too much of a comparison because it's like who the hell is going to stop it and step in and stop that anyway. Um, but yeah, no, I like the pick. I do like the pick. I give it an A. I think he gives you, like I said, pass rush ability, good against the run. If you can just get him to maybe bulk up a little bit, and so he can take on some double teams, I think he's gonna be great.
Or maybe even slim down a little bit and put him towards the edge.
Well, I'm pretty sure they run a 3-4. Maybe he can play a 3-4 defensive end, which is kind of more of like a
Maybe.
hybrid.
Yeah. But the pro comp is Javon Hargrave.
Oh yeah.
I love that comparison.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But
What was your grade on that?
B plus A,
Hell yeah.
pretty much an A.
Next, at pick number 17 is where we see the Minnesota Vikings after taking J.J. McCarthy at 10. They take Dallas Turner, edge rusher, out of Alabama.
I absolutely love this pick. I love it. This is an A plus for me,
Okay.
especially the fact that they got him at 17.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main. It's part of the reason why I have it as an A plus is because they got this type of edge rusher at 17.
Right.
Because I mean, like there was a video of I think it's the GM or someone high up telling Kevin O'Connell, yeah, we're getting Dallas Turner, and he was like, what? Wow. Because a lot of people like me, I didn't think he was going to fall to 17. He can rush from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he is a very good edge rusher, and he, especially with the fact that I believe Danielle Hunter's gone, he's gonna
Yeah.
step in and be pretty much the primary edge rusher.
I I don't think I love it as much as you do. Um, he's a good player by all means, but I kind of have a similar worry with him of like he's a little undersized, and there was times last year watching Alabama, he can get blocked right out of a play. because like a tackle gets a hold of him and he just gets overpowered. Because he's not a overly strong guy and he's a little undersized. I don't know. He's still a good player by all means, and I think you got a good edge rusher down here at 17. But I worry he might need to bulk up as well. I think for him to be a three down edge rusher, he needs to bulk up.
And the other reason I do love this is because of the defensive coordinator that they have and the defensive scheme that they run. They do a lot of blitzing.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, so I feel like getting a guy that can get to the quarterback fast is one of the big things that Brian Flores looks for in an edge rusher is someone that can get there fast. Because you get there fast, then you can disrupt the play. You disrupt the play, turnovers, sacks, all of that is available to happen.
Yeah, like I said, I give it a B. I don't love it, but I think it was a good pick.
And as long as I'm pronouncing the name right here, for the pro comp, it's Javon Curse.
Oh. Okay. So next we are at the Bengals here at pick number 18, and they took the let's see if I can find him here. Bengals went all the way up top. They took tackle Amarius Mims from Georgia.
I love the pick. I mean, he was the big offensive tackle for Georgia, and they won 2 national championships, and he was a starter for both of them. He is not allowed a sack on 377 career pass blocking snaps. I really just love the pick. He's got great upper body strength. His footwork is really good for a guy that is 6'7", 340 pounds. I just like this pick, especially for the Bengals, whose O-line is not the greatest, right?
Yeah.
And one of the big concerns with Joe Burrow has been his injuries and his blind side a little bit. So I just love being able to put like Mims out there and be your starting tackle, and I feel like he could be there with Joe Burrow for the next 10 years.
The problem with him is he didn't play much. He did not play much. He's a good player, but I'm pretty sure he only started. I think he started less than 10 games for them. And I worry that it's like he has, in this past season, 2023, he played 7 games and only 297 snaps. His best season was the year before where he had 14 games and only 385. Like, he played 7 more games and only had 80-some more snaps. He has not played a lot of games. He might have been playing in them national championship games, but he wasn't the tackle for them seasons. And it's like I worry about it because it's like he's got a lot of raw power, a lot of raw strength, and you don't know what he has the potential to be fantastic because he's a raw prospect still. But it's like I don't know, I just struggle with the lack of time he's played. I just don't know if I think it's a reach of a pick maybe not a reach but a risk. This guy has shown flashes, but like we don't know if he's going to be good. He could be great, but he could also suck.
Personally, I'm leaning towards the great. You know what
Well,
I mean?
of course, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he has the skills. Because one of the weaknesses is that he hasn't played a lot, like he said. But I feel like he can still develop that. But it's going to have to come quickly. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm worried about.
And I feel like he can step up to that challenge, and he could do it.
Yeah, and like I said, he's a raw prospect that has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential. I just worry that like his lack of experience is going to hurt. I don't know if he can start right away because it's like I don't know if you really know what you're getting out of him.
I feel like he's gonna have the same comparison as I think it's Evan Neal in the Giants, where his first year is gonna be shaky, and then the second year is where he's really gonna shine.
Well, we had to see Evan Neal do that first. You're talking about
no,
Andrew Thomas. Yeah, Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas. I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's going to be a similar arc to that. His first year is not going to be the best, but his second year is when he's really going to put it together, and he's going to have a really good second year.
Yeah. Next, we have the Los Angeles Rams taking Florida State edge rusher Jared Verse.
I mean, when arguably the best defensive player for I don't know how many years in Aaron Donald retires, you're going to have to bring someone in to try and replace him.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to replace Aaron Donald entirely, but bringing in a good edge rusher, it's going to help. Obviously, you're not going to fill that hole because Aaron Donald, arguably one of the greatest defensive tackles to ever play the game.
Yeah.
You're not going to fill that void entirely, but bringing in a young edge rusher for the next couple years, for Lord knows how long, it's gonna help. It's gonna take off what you would lose if you didn't bring him in. You know what I mean?
I'm also kind of in the middle about this pick. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be 24 by the time his rookie year starts. And you wonder, especially with guys like this, like even with quarterbacks and stuff, like when you have these older rookies, how much left do they have to develop? Like, how much better is prime Jared Verse going to be than what we're getting right now from him? And I think it's always a kind of a struggle. He's a good pass rusher, but he struggles in run defense. And I don't know how much you watch, but sometimes like he'll rush with his head down and just get past the quarterback without even realizing it. Like, he's not always fully aware where the ball is. And that's NFL coaches are going to hate that. Now, hopefully they pound that into his head right away. You got to keep your eyes up. You got to know where the football is. And I don't know. He's not great against the run. He's not bad. He's inconsistent, I think is the best way to put it. And already being 24 by the start of your rookie year, how much better can you really get?
I feel like in most cases, most cases for older players, it's the whole thing of like, well, how much can they develop?
Yeah.
But I feel like when you get from college to the NFL to the pros, I feel like there is a learning curve to it that he's gonna have to learn, or he's gonna get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he may be able to adjust. He may not. I mean, the pro comparison is Josh Allen, the edge rusher, not the quarterback.
Right, yeah. Okay, I think that's best case scenario for him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could turn into a quote-unquote game wrecker to where he could change the outcome of a game if he can get to the... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At his peak, obviously.
Now I'm trying to see where they have... Oh, they have him at guard here, Matt. Okay. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking tackle, but they have him as guard here. I guess he might be able to play both, honestly. Troy Fautanu, I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce it. Fautanu. Yeah, tackle though. How do you feel about that for your hometown Pittsburgh Steelers?
I mean, I would have rather seen a corner come off the board here.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the pick. I really do, because outside of Jones, we don't really have a reliable tackle to step up.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, you can slide him to guard, you can play him at tackle. I feel like the versatility is going to be very, very good.
I think he might profile a little bit better at guard, but I think he can play tackle.
Yeah, I think that Broderick Jones is going to be the left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
If they put Fashanu at tackle, he's going to be the right tackle, and Jones is going to be the left tackle.
Yeah. I like the pick. I think the only thing you worry about with him is that, like, he can be one of those guys that, like, the early 2000s loved it, but nowadays we don't. It's like he plays through the whistle. He can be really aggressive, and that might land him some penalties.
Yeah, I mean, he's giving full effort out there, so I love it.
Yeah, like, it just, I don't know, some people I'm reading some things about him, like, sometimes he gets so aggressive that, like, he can get locked onto a block. You know what I mean? Like maybe he has the role of, like, getting to the defensive end, pushing him out of the way, and then getting up to the second level, but sometimes he'll get locked into that first block and not move up. which is again something that NFL coaches can get through to him. I think pretty well. I don't think you know what I mean. He has the aggression.
Yeah.
I think he has no problem learning that. Like, hey, you can hit the defensive end as hard as you want to, but then get past him and get up to the next person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can knock that DN 5 rows deep, but you
Yeah.
go up and get to the middle linebacker, get to the safety, or whatever like that.
But I get it. I get corner might have been a good pick, but I think if you weren't going to get corner, I think this was a great player to take. Like I said, I think he might profile better as a guard, but I don't think he's unable to play tackle.
I think I think he's gonna play right tackle because James Daniels is right guard. Um, I forget his name, but he started last year left guard, and
Hmm.
he's gonna play there again. I think we got him from the Eagles, I think. And then obviously
Okay.
Jones is gonna probably be left tackle. I think he slides in at right tackle.
Okay. Now let's see where the game has him lined up here. Maybe at right end. Yep. Okay. Next at 21, we have the Miami Dolphins taking edge rusher from Penn State, Chop Robinson.
I like the pick. My only concern with Chop is he's a little bit undersized
Hmm.
for that edge rushing position. But then again, you know, it could help him. He could play it to his advantage.
I just with Chop, especially watching at Penn State, I think he's a guy that has a lot of potential, but I don't know if he's a day one impact player. Like sometimes it felt like he was just kind of throwing his hands at the tackles, and didn't really have a move set for him to get to the quarterback. If that does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like it looked like sometimes he was just kind of blindly like just doing anything he can to get past the tackle and didn't really have like an idea of what he was doing. Um, I think he's another boomer bust prospect. I think he has enough raw physical traits and upside that if he's able to develop some type of like pass rush move set, he could be one of the best edge rushers in the league. And I mean that truthfully, but I also think if he doesn't find a way to reliably get past tackles, he could find himself becoming very, very rotational.
now this could be a little bit of a hot take. But do you think that the Dolphins seen him and seen another Micah Parsons esque player?
Maybe I think Micah was a little bit better of an edge rusher coming out of the draft than Chop has been. But maybe they look at that and say, hey, like Dallas did it with Micah, let's take another one and see if we can just, I mean, I can't say you're wrong. Maybe that's exactly what they did. Is it the smartest idea? No, because
Probably
I think
not.
Micah was just a freak of nature. But
Yeah.
it's worth a try, especially now
Yeah.
you're down in the 20s. It's like it's still your first round pick. You still want a guy that's going to be an impact player for a long time, but missing on the 21st pick doesn't usually hurt as much as missing on the 5th pick.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't get judged too much on a late first rounder than you do a top five.
Yeah. It is different though. In the NBA, if you miss on the 30th pick, it is what it is. In the NFL, because there's 7 rounds, usually you want your first 2 to 3 picks to always be good. But yeah, no, there's definitely a different mindset there. Anything else? What was his pro comparison?
Uh, Chop Robinson. Nick Bonito.
Nick Benito. Okay.
Hmm.
Next, at 22, the Philadelphia Eagles take Toledo defensive back Quinyon Mitchell.
I mean, I'm just gonna start this off by saying the comparison is kind of funny because it's Darius Slay.
Okay.
I mean, 6 foot corner. He has good speed. He ran a 4.3 40 at the combine.
Hmm.
38 inch vertical jump. I mean, I feel like the only thing that could really hurt him too much is he's a gambler. He likes trying to go for the pick,
Hmm.
which could hurt him more now in the NFL than it did in college.
Also, the fact that he played at Toledo, so they were playing lower level competition.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He only played 2 games against Power 5 competition, but we've seen people come from the FCS
Yeah.
and they play really really good. So it's kind of just a thing to where it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do like it. Um, he is a good run defender to help with the you know outside pitch plays and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I like the pick, especially because That was one of the biggest things for the Eagles of need was corner.
No,
And to get him at
yeah,
22 was really, really good.
for sure. No, I really like the pick for the Eagles. I think they got a good corner. I think one of one of the only couple knocks you can say is like, yeah, he played for Toledo. He didn't play against great competition, and you're like, okay, how is that going to scale now to playing in the NFL? You know what I mean? If you would have played for Alabama, Clemson, something like that, and you get to see him against higher level college football, you might have a better idea. But I think he's a guy that's like, he's got good size. He's a physical. He gets into people. He's got good ball hawking skills. He's just like he's a very very good corner. And I think if he played at a Power Five conference, Power Five school, Power Four, I guess now it's Power Four, isn't it? But and played there and played like this, I think he would have went higher. I just think teams are a little bit worried about where he played at.
Yeah, I mean, and another person, it's a little bit bigger of a school, but it's still not a quote unquote Power 5 or Power 4 now. Well, Sauce Gardner at Cincinnati, I'm not comparing Sauce Gardner to
Right.
Quinyon Mitchell, but I'm comparing kind of like where they came from. Now, obviously, Toledo was smaller than Cincinnati.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's still the fact that Sauce Gardner came from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he's arguably one of the best corners in the league right now.
Yeah.
So it's always that thing to where you can judge where they come from, what college they come from, but you never know until they actually step out on the field and try and go against a receiver.
That's what I have it in the A. Like I said, the only reason I'm not giving him an A+ is because of that Toledo factor. But I legitimately think he was the best corner in the draft class.
Yeah, I think so too.
Next, at 23, the Jacksonville Jaguars take wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU.
I like it. I do believe the Jags did need wide receiver help.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley left. They just released Zay Jones, like today or yesterday. So yeah, they definitely need receiver help.
Yeah, I mean they have Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis.
Yep.
And Brian Thomas Jr. is going to slide in as that 3. And I'm going to be honest, it's not as good, but this is kind of giving me Chicago Bear vibes.
I'm going to need to hear this one out a little bit.
So, Chicago... Hold on, let me pull up their depth chart so I know exactly who I'm talking about.
You talking about receiver-wise?
Yes.
No, I'm not going to be able to agree with you, but I'll hear you out at least.
Because you're going to have your wide receiver... Your rookie wide receiver coming is going to play wide receiver 3, right?
Okay.
Now, obviously, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are better than Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley, right?
Calvin Ridley's not on the team.
Gabe Davis.
Yeah, okay.
Gabe Davis. Obviously, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are better than Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis, but to me, it's kind of like the same caveat to where you have a good wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. Teams are going to be focused more on that wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. And Brian Thomas, especially being 6'4", he's going to get a lot of one-on-ones, and I feel he's going to be able to take the top off the defense.
I can see your logic behind it. I just can't agree because those guys, Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis, are such a step down from Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
I feel because it's such a step down, Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis are not getting that much attention on the defense.
But let me rephrase this. It's not a spitting image, but it's kind of, how do I want to say this?
You can see parallels, I guess?
Yes. I can see parallels to where Brian Thomas is going to be as the wide receiver 3 to Rome Odunze as the wide receiver 3 for the Bears.
I don't know. I guess I can follow your logic. I just don't agree. And the other thing about Brian Thomas is he's not a very good route runner. And, like, he might be limited to his really potential role in the future because he's more of a deep threat. And he only had, like, one really decent season at LSU. You know what I mean? Like, he's a decent, like, I think he's just going to be a receiver 2. I think his cap is a wide receiver 2, to be honest with you.
His pro comparison is George Pickens, which is interesting to say the least.
It's interesting. That's interesting.
But also, when you have Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis, and you also have Evan Ingram, you're going to want someone to basically be able to take the top off the defense.
Well, that's what
and if
Gabe Davis
anything,
is for.
run a streak. Well, now you have one on either side.
I don't love it. It's not. I
It's
just
an
don't.
interesting pick, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't. I think I give it a C plus, a B minus. I don't love it. What was your draft pick? What was your grade for that?
B minus B.
Okay. Next, the Detroit Lions at 24 took defensive back Terrion Arnold from Alabama.
They needed a defensive back,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the stuff that was going on with Cameron Sutton.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's not going to be on the team next year.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, they still needed corner help.
Mm-hmm.
He had 5 picks last year, which was the most in the SEC, tied for the most in the SEC. He's 6'1", 196. He's got good frame. The only thing that you could say is a big thing is he missed 11% of his tackles. He had 11% missed tackle rate in 2023. Other than that, other than just his potential run defense, I like the pick. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Terrion Arnold is corner 1B. I think, what's his name from Toledo? Why'd I blank on his name? Holy cow. He just won a couple picks ago. Yes, thank you. Quinyon Mitchell's 1A. I think Terrion Arnold's 1B. The only other thing, like you mentioned, he's kind of struggling in tackling sometimes, is that he tends to grab a lot, too, on defense.
Yeah.
And you might have to worry about, as a young guy, gets called for some pass interference or defensive holdings because he's getting a little handsy. But it's the same way Sauce Gardner is, too. Gets a little handsy, and he seems to get away with it for the most part. So maybe it won't be a problem. You know what I mean? We can only project at this point in time. But yeah, no, I like the pick, too. I think they really need a defensive back, and I think Terrion Arnold's a great guy to get. He brings he's a physical corner. And that entire Lions culture is physicality, and I think he fits it perfectly.
Yeah, he loves to be physical at the line and try and jam receivers.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's gonna be a good corner for the Lions. And he's probably gonna start. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's gonna start, and and then you pair him with Brian. You pair him and Brian Branch playing safety. I feel like this Lions defensive back core is gonna look a little spicy in the next couple years.
I would agree with you.
Hell, even next year it might even be a little spicy.
And, I think I gave it an A or A plus. I think I'll go look back.
I give it a B plus. The pro comp is J.C. Horn.
Ooh. Okay. Next at 25, the Green Bay Packers take tackle Jordan Morgan from Arizona.
I think there was better players available.
Mm-hmm.
Better offensive linemen available before this.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers do need offensive tackle help. They need help on the O-line, just period. I think Jordan Morgan, he's built to play tackle. I think he may need to bulk up just a little bit.
I think he might actually... He might have the size, but I think he might actually profile better as a guard in the NFL.
You think so?
I think because he has some struggles in pass protection, you'd rather slide him in the guard.
Okay. In 880 pass blocking snaps in the past 2 seasons, he's only allowed 3 sacks.
Which is good, but you have to also have to worry about like pressures and hurries and stuff like that too.
That is true. And also the quarterback scrambling out of the pocket and getting away from said sack.
Yeah. And he just had an ACL like a year or two ago. ACL injury. So that's always a worry about a young guy.
Yeah.
Especially as a tackle. On trying to make the kickback moves as a tackle. You know what I mean? You might worry about that.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think he does slide into that guard position.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's someone that you could put at guard or at tackle, and he's gonna succeed at it.
And that's why I have it rated as a C, because I think he profiles better as a guard. And at that point, I would rather than just taking somebody like a Graham Barton or Tyler Guyton, that I think profile a little bit better.
That also goes with the thing I said earlier, there were better
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
for where they needed it available, and I'm not knocking it because it could be a home run hit. I just think that baseline, I feel like there's a couple more linemen that profiled better for what the Packers need.
100%. So next, at 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take. Wow. Okay. Here it has it graded out as tackle, and Madden has him at center.
I guess it seems like this man can play tackle, guard, and center.
I think he's going to play interior. I don't know if he's going to play center, but I think he's going to play interior. I think he's going to be a guard. Maybe he could play center. I think. I don't know. He like I said, he has the versatility. He played a little bit at tackle, but I don't know if he has. I'm pretty sure his arm length isn't great for a tackle in the NFL. So you might okay, maybe that does relegate him to a guard center. But he's good. He's very just he's one of those guys I think I talked about earlier with the Saints. He's good. He's solid. You know what I mean? Like, he's fundamentally sound. He just looks good when he blocks. I don't know how else to word it. Like, he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I feel like he's also one of them versatile linemen that you could have him starting at left guard, but your starting right tackle gets hurt. And you're just like, hey, Graham, we need you to play right tackle. He could, without blinking, be able to switch from left guard to right tackle.
I think he mostly played left tackle.
Proficient at it. Well, you know what? I feel like he can go around the offensive line and be above average. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or even if he is average at some spots. Yeah. Like I said, I think that could be enough to warrant just having an offensive lineman you can kind of plug and play and just know he's going to be solid. So, yeah, I can't hate that. I give it a B plus. I give it a B plus.
I give it an A minus. The pro comp is Peter Skronsky, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Interesting comp.
Now let's see where they got the edge rusher here, because I know the game can have it a little bit different. Where's he at here? There he goes. Next, at 27, the Arizona Cardinals take edge rusher Darius Robinson out of Missouri.
At 27, it's not a bad pick. My worry for him is that when he rushes too high.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll get to a point where he'll go to the outside and he'll just basically kind of get pushed out of the play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or because they do have him listed as a hybrid D-end D tackle. You know what I mean? But when he plays D-end, I feel like he can get pushed up too much, or he doesn't win quick enough. You know what I mean?
I do think he's a better run defender than he is an edge rusher.
Yeah. I just think that for the edge rushing or the rusher standpoint, he either gets too high or he doesn't win. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't win quick enough to impact a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Kind of similar to what I was saying about Chop Robinson earlier, is that sometimes he looks like he doesn't really have a plan to getting to the quarterback. Like, he doesn't really have a wide skill set of pass rush moves. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, he just sometimes, a lot of times it looks like he just tries to run through the offensive lineman, which will work sometimes, but these offensive linemen in the NFL are going to be bigger and stronger. You're not going to be able to just run through them consistently.
Yeah, I feel like he does move in and plays more of a hybrid D tackle role, more than a true edge rusher.
Okay.
I feel how I shouldn't say exactly but I feel like he's gonna be a 5 tech. You know
okay.
I mean? He's gonna be you can line him up at the D end, you can line him at D tackle. He's gonna get moved around the line, and he's not gonna be line up over the right guard every time, or you know what I mean, or line up on the right side every time. He's gonna be everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah.
To where they can get the best matchup for him to try and win.
Yeah. No, I give it a B.
I give it a B minus. The pro comp is Keon White.
Young guy in Patriots. Okay. Next, at pick 28, the Kansas City Chiefs get wide receiver Xavier Worthy from Texas.
I like it. The only concern is the thin frame. He's 6'1", but only 172 pounds. He did break the combine record with a 4.21 40.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be looking at kind of another Tyreek.
Speed-wise, yeah.
Yeah, speed-wise, I don't know if he's gonna. I doubt he's gonna get to the high level that Hill was playing at. But having a guy that has that speed, and you're taking him in the first round, so you're gonna have him for possibly a guaranteed 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like the pick, especially with a Chiefs team that doesn't have a lot at wide receiver right now.
I feel like he's like the thing I think separates why he's not on that Tyreek Hill level, like potential, is Tyreek Hill has strong hands.
He does.
For the little size he is, he's a guy that's going to hold on to contested catches. Like Xavier Worthy does not have strong hands. He gets the ball knocked out of his hands a lot. And getting down the field quick is nice, but if you can't hold on to it and get hit, hold on to it as you're being hit, it doesn't matter. And
yeah.
I worry. Again, I know he went later than this guy. This is like a absolute peak Tyreek Hill or John Ross.
Yeah.
A guy that's fast but just can not really do much else.
His pro comp is Devontae Smith. Devonta Smith.
I don't think he has the route running at Devontae Smith at all.
I don't think he does.
And
I feel like he gets jammed at the line too much.
I think I think that's more of a body type comparison than I think it is anything else.
Yeah, because Devonta Smith was not that big.
He still isn't.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen how he is, how he's shown out for the Eagles.
100%.
Yeah, they don't run the ball a whole lot, but he doesn't offer enough, especially when you're going against a corner that's probably similar height and probably has about 20 pounds on you.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe he could flourish and turn into a Hill-esque player. I doubt he's going to get to the exact player that Hill was, obviously. Yeah. But I feel like he could be on that pathway.
All right, next, the Dallas Cowboys, my team, at 29, take tackle Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma.
How you feeling about that pick?
I give it a B. We got to figure out where he's going to play. Is it going to be guard? Is it going to be left tackle? He does not have a lot of experience playing left tackle. He's been played more right tackle. But they have Terrence Steele, who they just paid at right tackle, who's fine. He's okay. Do you kick Tyler Smith out the tackle, which has been talked for a while now with Tyron Smith leaving? Or do you leave Tyler Smith play at guard, where he was an all-pro, and put Guyton at tackle, but it's like Guyton doesn't have a lot of experience over there? Do you think Tyler Smith can translate his all-pro experience to left tackle, which he played in college some? Or do you just trust this guy to learn how to play blindside protector? I'm under the impression of I would like at least rookie year, put Tyler Guyton at guard and put Tyler Smith at tackle. Dallas is in a win now mode. We cannot have an inexperienced left tackle giving up Dak's blindside. We just can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I feel you take the more experienced one and push him out, because the last thing you need is someone beating your rookie offensive tackle, stacking Dak, and the next thing you know, I hope it doesn't happen, but next thing you know, an injury happens.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of just sitting there. Well,
the season's over for Dallas. Yeah. And
I feel like to win, you're gonna push Tyler Smith, right?
Yeah, Tyler Smith out the tackle.
Yeah, you're gonna push him out the tackle and then put Guyton in at left guard, and then next season it might switch. You don't know.
I think Tyler Guyton's gonna end up then taking Terrence Steele's position once. I think Terrence Steele has a couple of years left on his contract. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that. But I think he's going to end up taking Terrence Steele's spot in the future at right tackle, because that's where he has the experience playing. Can I see? I know they signed into a contract. Terrence Steele's also 26, so it's not like he's an old guy, but he's got. Oh yeah, that's right. He's got a while. He got a while. I forgot they
Da-
gave him.
Dallas could just be building up their offensive line once again.
That's in the mid 2000s when I know we didn't win a Super Bowl by any means, but like or mid 2010s I should say, when it was like that Romo, Dez, DeMarco Murray, Jason Witten, like for the early like the mid to late 2010s we had one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in football, and it's the reason Zeke and Dak were able to be so good as young players. Tony, DeMarco Murray, and Dez and all them were able to be good players. It's like because we had they called it the Great Wall of Dallas for years with Travis Frederick at center, Zach Martin at right guard, Doug Free at right tackle, Lyle Collins snuck in there at right tackle later down the line. We had a multiple different left guards. That kind of Ronald Leary was in there for a little bit, and I know they stuck a couple other guys in there, and then Tyron Smith at left tackle. Like we had the Great Wall of Dallas for a good part of 6 to 8 years. We were a top 3 offensive line in the NFL, and that's when you saw Dallas have its most success. And I mean, yeah, they signed Zeke going into this, and I'm glad Zeke's back. I've always liked Zeke, and I'm glad he's back. I think having a better offensive line is going to make him, because what the last we saw of Zeke wasn't great in 2022 for Dallas, but we also I think have a much better offensive line now.
And now it's kind of like a clear cut. Zeke is the number one guy for the most
Not
part.
at all.
Well,
Not at all.
he,
I don't think Zeke's going to be the number one guy.
who do you
I
think's gonna be
think
the number one then?
I don't know. I think it's going to be between Rico and Zeke are going to get most of the snaps.
Okay. Do you think it's gonna be a Tony Pollard Zeke combo?
That's what they're going to. That's what they're going to try to do. I don't think it's going to be as successful, but I think it's going to be the similar tactic they're going to go to.
It may work, especially revamping the O line.
Yeah, 100%. I like I said, I give it a B. I wish we would have got a guy that was like more secure at left tackle, but I trust Tyler Smith enough to work at. You know what I mean? I trust Tyler Smith enough that Tyler Guyton's going to be able to fit in.
Yeah, well, I give it a B too. I like the pick.
All right, let's get down to the Ravens, who have pick number 30. And they take defensive back Nate Wiggins out of Clemson.
I like the pick for a coverage standpoint because they have needed help at corner and just coverage in general. So I do like it. I do like that aspect of it. But the only thing, one of the concerning things, is that he's not a great tackler.
Yeah.
Granted, you're bringing him in to play corner, but in a situation to where they run a screen pass or there's a pitch or a counter play and you need to make the tackle, he's got to be able to make the tackle.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I think another thing that he kind of struggles with, if we're just talking about negatives real quick, is sometimes he just doesn't get his head around. Like, there's been times at Clemson where I thought he was in front of the receiver and had a chance to knock the ball down or get an interception, but he just didn't turn around. Like, he just had no idea the ball was coming, which is strange because I feel like he really has good ball hawking like instincts for the most part, but then every once in a while he'll just have a complete brain fart and just not turn around for the football.
Yeah.
But he's a fantastic. I think he's one of the best cover corners in the draft class, and he's fast.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, he ran a 4.28 40. He ran a sub 4.3 40.
Damn.
He's 6'2", but he's I think about 180.
Yeah, he's not
big. He's not weight wise, but he does have the height.
Which is probably why he struggles tackling. Doesn't have much to him.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, especially when you're in the AFC North,
yeah,
you're gonna be able to need to tackle.
Yeah.
That's probably something that they're gonna work on.
I give it a B plus A minus. I think he's gonna be good across from Marlon Humphrey. They're not gonna be relying on him to be their number one corner by any means. Obviously they'll have to work on a run game, but hell, he's gonna be going against Derrick Henry in practice. So there's nobody else to really get better. You know what I mean? Against the run in.
Derrick Henry is an absolute.
All right. Next we have the San Francisco 49ers, who take receiver is Ricky Pearsall. I think it's Pearsall or Pearsall is how it's pronounced. Receiver out of Florida. You want to give your?
What's your? I. What? What? What's your? I. 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 I don't know
I gotta
why they
find him one
took
here.
wide receiver.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know why they took wide receiver, and if they did take wide receiver, I don't understand the Ricky Purcell pick.
Because I don't think Debo's going to be there much longer. Honestly, there was rumors that he was going to get traded during the draft.
Or do you think Debo's gonna go, or do you think Ayuk's gonna go?
No, I think all reports are pointing at Debo's going to be the one to go. They want Ayuk to be their number one. I think Ayuk's the better receiver now. I think Ayuk's is the better receiver, and I'm pretty sure the reports that have been coming out of the area have been that Debo's going to be the one that's going to get moved.
I mean, at this point, it's pretty much set in stone since they took a wide receiver in the first round.
I don't want to say it's set in stone, but I do think, it's pretty likely Debo goes.
In the next year, it's gonna happen. Maybe even this season coming up.
It depends. They definitely. I think it depends. If they have a strong start to the season, which the 49ers they probably will, they'll play through this year. I don't think they're in a rush to move Debo Samuel. I just don't think he's going to be there long term.
If anything, I think they give Ricky Purcell a year under Debo and Ayuk. So then next year he can step up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because like they're a good team, so there's no reason they're not trying to push out Debo Samuel. You know what I mean? Like you have no reason to push him out the door. You're a good team. It's just like I think Debo in the next couple of years is going to be not on the team.
And I think when is his contract up? That's going to be the big thing. I think the year before his contract's up or the year his contract's up is when they're going to get rid of him.
Debo Samuel's contract is that is not what are we doing here? There we go. Next season is the last year of his contract.
I mean,
but then that's when they have the potential out. And I think there's one more year. Oh, okay. After they say this coming up season, and then next season, and then they have potential out for the last 2 seasons.
Okay. I think they might just trade him after a season or two to get Ricky some more experience and more kind of mentorship type deal.
Yeah, no, I don't love the pick either. He's also another guy that's gonna be like 24 by the time his rookie year starts.
Yeah.
It's like he's only like 3 years younger than Debo Samuel himself. So it's like you didn't really set the timeline back any. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you got a 21-year-old. You got a guy that's only a couple years younger than Debo and Brandon Ayuk. But one thing is that, and we know the 49ers love it, he's one of those, classify him as a chain mover. He's going to get to the first down area and he's going to catch the ball. I don't think he's going to be like a super flashy player by any means, but I think he's just going to be a good, consistent, you can rely on him on third down to get the first down.
Yeah, I mean, one of his weaknesses was was minimal yard after catch ability. And I mean, he averaged about 20 yards per reception.
Mm-hmm.
And he led the SEC last year.
Well, and I know it's not comparable because they're different positions, but I mean, at the later part of Jason Witten's career in Dallas, that's exactly what he was. He was a chain mover. He would, third down and 5, he would go 6 yards up the field and stop and turn around and wait. It's like, you know what? He's going to catch the ball and he's going to get the first down. And that's what it's going to be. And I think that's exactly what they're looking Ricky to be, is a guy that's like, obviously Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle are going to try to make plays down the field. But then there's a 5-yard curl route. Ricky's sitting there in a zone, just in a open spot of zone coverage, just ready to catch the ball and drop to the ground.
Yeah, his route running is also very, very good.
Yeah, so like I said, he can run plays where he's like, I know we're using Madden terminology, but like curl routes, zig routes, out routes, in routes, like where he's staying close to the line of scrimmage on like third down scenarios, but he has reliable hands and he's going to be able to get to the first down.
Yeah, and I mean, at a 6'3" frame, running a 4.4 40 and a 42 vertical jump, he's going to be there.
Oh, 100%. So then that leaves us... Well, what was your grade for him?
I give it a CC+.
Okay.
Not bad, but not great. I think there was wide receivers better than him that they could have taken, but they might like that chain-moving-esque player that he is. You know what I mean?
Right. So then, to finish off the first round, the last pick of this podcast, the Carolina Panthers traded up into the first round because originally they did not have a first-round pick. And they took wide receiver Xavier Legette. Legette, I'm pretty sure, Legette's how you... Legette?
Yes, Legette.
out of South Carolina. How you feeling about it?
It's good. I like the pick of them getting a wide receiver in here to help out with their not very good receiving core
Mm-hmm.
for their young quarterback. So bringing in Xavier Leggett is going to be big, especially um, considering he's going to be able to learn from Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Granted, Adam Thielen's not the most flashy fast, but Adam Thielen gets open.
And that's something that Xavier struggles with. I think he struggles route running.
Yeah, so it's going to be a thing to where he's going to be able to learn from Adam Thielen, and it's just going to help build for the future for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think the best part about Xavier Leggett is his downfield ability to make them highlight real catches.
I think that's where he's gonna excel, getting the ball on jet sweeps or getting down the field.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching a video about him. Because I don't know much. I honestly don't know much about him. So I was like, let me watch some videos, and they were showing some plays where, like, if he's getting deep down the field, he's able to separate. But sometimes if he's trying to run short routes, he can get blown off the line. He can get, like, he somehow struggles with the short to medium area. Not struggle, but isn't as good as the short and medium area as he is down the field or, like, with the ball in his hands. So it's like, this guy might be another boomer bust. Like, you're either going to get the really big play from him or you're not going to get much else.
Yeah, and that also comes with learning from Adam Thielen, because then it can help him with the separation on them shorter routes. The interesting thing about this is CBS's comparison is actually a teammate of his, Jonathan Mingo.
Okay.
Yeah. I interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Interesting comparison.
Well, I mean, hey. What did you give it?
I give it a B plus. They did need young wide receiver help. They did, because Adam Thielen, I know, is not. Is he 30? Is he over 30?
I'm pretty sure he's over 30 at this point in time.
Over 30, and I know Deontay Johnson, who they traded for, is about 28, 29.
Yeah.
So bringing in Xavier Leggett, who can take the top off the defense, because Deontay Johnson and Thielen aren't really known for that too much, gives another diverse addition to this Panthers team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it is. That'll do it for the first round. I mean, I guess we can go back through here, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you guys know who got drafted. You know what I mean? You guys know we don't have to go back through this again. That was our grade for every team's first round draft pick. Some teams I think did really, really well. A couple teams made some breaches, but that's what the NFL draft is about. Boom or bust. I do want to apologize. There was no episode on Saturday. I had some stuff going on and just weren't able to get to a recording. And now that we're doing it this way, this episode's not going to be on Spotify. We've been having some troubles in the past couple episodes getting them. We've been able to get them on Spotify, but we haven't been able to get the video on the YouTube. So we're like, okay, we get a little bit more viewers on YouTube, so maybe we'll cater to that, and then down the line try to get back on Spotify. We're just trying to figure that out. But yeah, sorry about last Saturday, and just start expecting these videos on YouTube. Is there anything you want to talk about, Levi?
Not really. I mean, just a quick brief thing. The playoffs have been crazy.
The NBA playoffs, yeah. And I figured we're going to have a video, or our next podcast obviously is going to be coming out on Saturday. I figured for that one, we're going to talk about the first round matchups and just what we're expecting from them, talk about recap the first round and like looking forward into round 2. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
All right, well, anything else you want to say to the people? I want to plug my YouTube channel. I think I hit 100 subscribers since the last time I mentioned it, and I'm up to 120 now. I've been doing like my Madden Patriots Dynasty series, my 2K videos, been doing my WNBA rebuilds. You guys have really been enjoying that, so please go check out Cloud 2K, and Levi, you can go ahead and plug yours.
I'm Garbage Gamer. I'm doing a Madden Super Bowl Run Challenge. I do have a video recorded with Paul. I just haven't really gotten around to editing it yet. So expect that within the next couple days.
All right, well, I guess that'll do it for another episode of Time Out with J&G. We'll catch you guys on Saturday. Peace.